My friends, I want to talk about something truly powerful today, the art of letting go. We live in a world that tells us to hustle harder, to push through, to control every aspect of our lives. But let me tell you, there's incredible strength in surrender. In our world, we're taught from a young age that success comes from control, managing every detail, making every decision, and ensuring everything stays in order. We spend so much time trying to control the outcomes of our lives that we often forget one simple truth. Control is an illusion. It's an exhausting cycle of striving, achieving, and worrying. But when we hold on too tightly to that control, we miss the beauty of letting life unfold in its own rhythm. The more we grasp, the more we struggle to maintain a grasp on what is truly ours. Surrendering control doesn't mean you give up or stop caring. It doesn't mean that you throw away your plans or ambitions. It simply means you acknowledge that there is a limit to what you can influence. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to let go and trust that things will work out. Even if it looks different from what you expected, there is immense peace in knowing that not everything needs to be meticulously planned, that some of the best things in life happen when we're not forcing them into a box. We all know the feeling of trying to make things happen, trying to force life to go a certain way, but that often leads to frustration, burnout, and a sense of feeling stuck. It's like pushing a boulder uphill, never getting to the top, and constantly wondering why things aren't moving faster. Surrendering control means recognizing when it's time to stop pushing, to step back, and to trust that the universe, or whatever you choose to believe in, has its own timeline for your journey. Making positive mission priorities, it's important to realize that when we let go of control, we're not being passive or helpless. In fact, we are taking a powerful action. We are choosing to trust the process, trusting that everything in life has a way of working out in the end. There's a deep sense of liberation that comes from knowing that we don't have to have all the answers right now, and that sometimes the most profound growth happens in the moments when we're not trying to force a solution. Surrendering control also means giving up the idea that you need to have everything figured out. We often feel like failures if we don't have every step of the plan laid out perfectly, but the truth is, life doesn't always work that way. Some of the most beautiful opportunities come from the unexpected, the unplanned moments. If we hold too tightly to the illusion of control, we miss out on these spontaneous moments that are often the catalysts for personal growth and transformation. Another crucial part of surrendering control is accepting that not everything in life is in your hands. We can't control how other people behave, how events unfold, or the challenges we face. But we can control how we respond to those things. Surrendering control doesn't mean letting life happen to you. It means taking ownership of your mindset, your attitude, and your ability to rise above situations that are outside of your control. When you surrender control, you make room for new possibilities. You create space for solutions that might not have been available to you when you were too focused on your own plans. Sometimes, what you think you want is not what you actually need. By releasing your grip on the outcome, you allow something even better to find its way into your life. Ultimately, surrendering control is about embracing trust, not just in life, but in yourself. It's about trusting that you are capable, worthy, and resilient enough to handle whatever comes your way, even when it's unexpected. It's a reminder that you are not alone in this journey and that the universe has a way of guiding you to exactly where you need to be, even if it's not always the place you thought you'd end up. Fear is a natural part of the human experience. It's a protective instinct that has helped us survive throughout history, keeping us alert to danger and steering us away from harm. But in the modern world, fear can often become a barrier, holding us back from reaching our true potential. It can whisper lies in our ears, telling us we're not good enough, that things won't work out, or that the unknown is something to be avoided at all costs. But what if, instead of letting fear control us, we chose to lead with faith? Faith is not the absence of fear, it's the choice to move forward despite it. It's an inner strength that rises above doubt and insecurity. When we have faith, we trust that everything we face, whether it's a challenge, a failure, or an obstacle, is part of our growth. Faith is the quiet confidence that, no matter the outcome, we are supported and guided by something greater than ourselves. It's that unwavering belief that everything, even the hardest moments, is happening for a reason, and that reason is leading us closer to the person we are meant to become. The most powerful thing about faith is that it doesn't require proof. It doesn't need to see the end result to know that the journey is worth it. Fear, on the other hand, is rooted in the unknown. It shows up when we don't have control over the outcome. But faith allows us to let go of that need for certainty. It asks us to trust in the process, even when we can't see the next step, and to take action despite not having all the answers. Fear loves to thrive in the spaces where our confidence falters. It takes hold in moments of uncertainty, convincing us that we're not ready, that we're not capable, or that we will fail. But faith counters fear by reminding us that we have everything we need to face whatever comes our way. We don't need to be perfect or have every detail planned. We just need to trust ourselves and trust that we are not alone in this journey. Faith is the fuel that keeps us moving forward, even when the road ahead looks unclear. One of the greatest challenges we face is learning to trust in the unknown. We are wired to want guarantees, to seek security in every decision. But faith isn't about guarantees. It's about the courage to step into the unknown, knowing that we are exactly where we are supposed to be, even if we can't fully understand it. The uncertainty is part of the beauty of life. It's where the magic happens, where we grow, and where we discover new strengths we never knew we had. The more we lean into faith, the more we realize that fear doesn't have the power to control us unless we allow it to. It's a choice. We can choose to let fear dictate our actions, or we can choose to move through life with faith, knowing that every step is part of a greater plan. Faith gives us the resilience to face fear head-on, not with avoidance, but with a deep sense of inner peace and trust. It allows us to embrace challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. When we choose faith over fear, we shift the focus from the limitations of what we think is possible to the endless possibilities of what could be. Faith opens our hearts and minds to new opportunities, new ways of thinking, and new paths to walk down. It helps us to see beyond the surface of our fears and to recognize that every experience, good or bad, is a teacher. We stop seeing failure as something to fear and start seeing it as part of the learning process that takes us closer to our dreams. At the core of faith over fear is the belief that everything happens for a reason and that each moment we experience is an opportunity for transformation. Fear can paralyze us, keep us small, and stop us from living fully. But faith sets us free. It allows us to take risks, to dream big, and to trust that we are supported through every challenge we face. Faith is the antidote to fear. And when we choose it, we open ourselves up to a life of endless possibilities. Letting go is one of the most powerful acts we can take in our lives, though it's often one of the most challenging. We hold on tightly to things, people, outcomes, expectations, because they give us a sense of security. We feel safer when we can control our environment, when everything stays in place. But what happens when we cling to something that is no longer serving us? The act of holding on can weigh us down, prevent us from moving forward, and keep us stuck in cycles that no longer align with who we are. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about freeing ourselves to create space for something new. The beauty of letting go is that it brings with it the opportunity to release old wounds, negative patterns, and limiting beliefs. We all carry baggage, emotional or mental, that impacts how we show up in the world. These past experiences, while important, don't define us. They shape us, yes, but they are not meant to be our anchors. Letting go means releasing the grip of the past so that it no longer dictates our future. It's about forgiving ourselves and others, not because what happened was okay, but because we deserve peace and freedom to move on. Letting go also involves releasing our attachment to outcomes. We are often so attached to the idea of how things should be that we miss the beauty in how they are. We plan, we hope, and we work tirelessly toward goals, but what if things don't go as expected? When we learn to let go of our attachment to specific results, we open ourselves up to the possibility of something even greater. Sometimes the universe has bigger plans for us than we could ever imagine, but we have to make room for them by letting go of what we thought we needed. In relationships, letting go doesn't always mean walking away. Sometimes it means letting go of expectations. We often try to control how people behave or how relationships unfold. But people are not meant to be controlled. They are individuals with their own paths. Letting go in this context means accepting people for who they are, not who we wish them to be. It's about releasing the need to fix, change, or make others fit into our vision of how they should show up. When we let go of those expectations, we create space for authentic connection and love to flourish without the weight of conditions. Letting go is also about releasing the need for perfection. Perfectionism can be an exhausting, soul-crushing pursuit. We chase after the idea of doing things perfectly, often at the cost of our mental and emotional well-being. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. Letting go of the idea of perfection means embracing our imperfections, learning to love ourselves as we are, and finding beauty in the messy, imperfect process of living. When we stop demanding perfection from ourselves, we allow room for growth, creativity, and joy to flow more freely into our lives. We also need to let go of the fear of the unknown. It's natural to want to control what happens next, to have certainty in every decision. But life, in all its beauty, is full of uncertainty. We can't predict every outcome, and that can be terrifying. However, when we hold on to fear of what might happen, we limit our potential. Letting go of the fear of the unknown is about trusting in the process, embracing the uncertainty, and knowing that we have the strength to navigate whatever comes our way. It's in the unknown that we discover our resilience, our courage, and our capacity to adapt. In letting go, there is also a deep understanding that we cannot control everything. Control gives us a false sense of power, when in reality there's so much in life that is beyond our influence. People, situations, and events often unfold in ways that we can't predict, and trying to control them only leads to frustration. When we let go of the need for control, we open ourselves to the flow of life. We become more present in the moment, less anxious about the future, and more accepting of the present reality. This shift from control to surrender brings peace, clarity, and the ability to respond with grace instead of resistance. Finally, letting go is about self-compassion. It's about giving ourselves permission to release what no longer serves us without guilt or shame. We often feel guilty when we let go of things, especially when they are people, goals, or ideas we've invested so much time and energy into. But self-compassion reminds us that it's okay to change course, to outgrow things, and to move forward. Letting go is an act of self-love, an acknowledgement that we deserve to live a life that is aligned with our true self, free from the burdens of what we no longer need. Trusting the process can be one of the most challenging yet transformative decisions we make in our lives. In a world that thrives on instant gratification and quick results, patience and trust often feel like distant concepts. We want to see the outcome immediately, to know that our efforts are paying off right now, but trusting the process requires faith in the journey, even when the destination is unclear. It asks us to believe that everything we're experiencing, even the struggles, is leading us exactly where we need to be. The truth is, the process often doesn't look the way we expect. It doesn't always unfold in a straight line. There are twists, turns, setbacks, and moments of doubt. The path to success, fulfillment, or personal growth is rarely linear. When we trust the process, we are saying yes to the unpredictable nature of life. We are surrendering the need for control and allowing the natural course of events to teach us what we need to learn in its own time. It's in the unexpected moments that the most valuable lessons are often hidden. Trusting the process doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It's not about passivity or complacency. Instead, it's about showing up, taking consistent action, and doing our part, while also letting go of the outcome. The process requires effort, but it also requires patience. We may not always see immediate results, but when we look back over time, we realize how much progress we've made, how much we've grown, and how the journey itself has shaped us into the person we are becoming. Another important aspect of trusting the process is learning to embrace uncertainty. Life is full of unknowns, and sometimes the hardest part is not knowing what's next. We can become consumed with fear and anxiety about what's to come, but the act of trusting the process invites us to release those fears. We don't need to know everything ahead of time. We don't need to have all the answers. Trusting the process is about accepting that we will learn along the way and that the next step will reveal itself when the time is right. In moments of doubt, it's easy to question whether we're on the right path. We might wonder if we're wasting our time or if all the effort we're putting in will ever pay off. But trusting the process is about shifting our focus away from immediate outcomes and towards the growth we're experiencing. It's about recognizing that even when things don't go as planned, we are still moving forward. Every challenge, setback, and obstacle is part of the process that is preparing us for what lies ahead. The obstacles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. Trusting the process also means learning to let go of perfectionism. We often get caught up in the idea that everything must be perfect for us to succeed, but perfection isn't the goal, growth is. The process doesn't require perfection, it requires progress. Every small step forward, every mistake, and every lesson learned is part of the process. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we give ourselves permission to be human, to make mistakes and to learn from them. Trusting the process means understanding that it's okay to not have it all figured out, as long as we're moving in the right direction. Part of trusting the process is trusting ourselves. We need to believe that we are capable of navigating whatever comes our way. It's easy to doubt ourselves when things get tough, but the truth is that we've been through challenges before, and we've come out stronger each time. When we trust the process, we are also trusting our ability to handle what life throws at us. We have the resilience, the inner strength, and the wisdom to navigate even the most difficult times, and the process is there to help us discover just how strong we really are. Ultimately, trusting the process is about embracing the present moment. It's about recognizing that the process is happening now, not in the future. Too often we get caught up in where we want to be, rather than appreciating where we are. Trusting the process means fully engaging with the present, knowing that the present moment is where the magic happens. Every step we take, no matter how small, is part of the unfolding process, and each moment holds the potential for growth, transformation, and insight. When we trust the process, we learn to appreciate the journey itself, not just the destination. Gratitude is a transformative practice that has the power to shift our entire perspective on life. When we choose to cultivate gratitude, we begin to see the world through a different lens. It's easy to get caught up in what's not working, what's lacking, or what we wish was different. But gratitude invites us to pause and appreciate what is. It teaches us to focus on the abundance that already exists in our lives, no matter how big or small. When we open ourselves to gratitude, we recognize that we are surrounded by gifts, even in the most challenging moments. Acceptance goes hand in hand with gratitude. It's the practice of embracing life as it is, without resistance or judgment. So often we try to control the way things unfold or resist the things we cannot change. Acceptance, however, requires us to surrender that need for control and allow life to be as it is. It doesn't mean we stop striving or that we don't take action toward our goals. It simply means that we release the constant struggle against reality. When we accept what is, we stop fighting against the flow of life and start working with it. One of the greatest gifts of gratitude is its ability to shift our mindset. It pulls us out of a scarcity mentality where we focus on what we don't have and into an abundance mindset where we recognize the wealth of blessings already present. Gratitude reminds us that no matter what we're facing, there is always something to be thankful for. It could be the people in our lives, the opportunities we've had, or even the lessons learned from past struggles. In moments when we feel overwhelmed or frustrated, gratitude grounds us and reconnects us to the richness of our experience. Acceptance is not about resigning ourselves to a life of mediocrity or settling for less. It's about coming to peace with where we are right now without judgment or criticism. Often we're so focused on where we think we should be that we overlook the beauty of where we actually are. Acceptance allows us to be present with ourselves, to honor our journey, and to acknowledge that the path we're on is just as valuable as the destination. It's about trusting that even if things are not perfect, they are unfolding exactly as they should. When we practice gratitude, we also practice presence. Gratitude is most powerful when we take the time to truly notice the things we appreciate. It's easy to overlook the little things, the warm cup of coffee in the morning, the smile from a stranger, the beauty of nature around us. But when we slow down and take in the small moments of joy, we realize that they add up to a life full of blessings. Gratitude encourages us to be mindful, to fully experience the present moment, and to recognize the gifts we often take for granted. Acceptance plays a crucial role in our ability to let go of expectations. We live in a world full of comparison, where it's easy to feel like we're falling short because we're not where we think we should be. But acceptance frees us from that pressure. It helps us embrace the uniqueness of our own journey. When we accept ourselves and our circumstances as they are, we release the need for validation from others or the constant striving for external approval. Acceptance brings us back to the truth that we are enough, just as we are. Gratitude and acceptance also allow us to heal. When we're stuck in resistance, holding on to grudges or past hurts, we block the flow of healing in our lives. But when we can practice gratitude for the lessons learned and acceptance of the process, we open ourselves to emotional and spiritual healing. It's in the acceptance of our imperfections, our struggles, and our past that we make space for growth and transformation. Gratitude and acceptance don't erase the challenges we face, but they give us the strength and resilience to move through them with grace. Ultimately, gratitude and acceptance bring us into alignment with our true selves. When we stop fighting against what is and start embracing what is, we unlock a deeper sense of peace. Gratitude opens our hearts, and acceptance opens our minds. Together, they allow us to experience life in its fullness, to find joy in the present moment, and to trust that everything is unfolding as it should. They are the keys to living a life of fulfillment, contentment, and inner peace. Surrender is often misunderstood as a form of weakness or giving up, but in reality, it is one of the most empowering acts we can undertake in our personal growth journey. Surrender does not mean quitting or resigning ourselves to circumstances. Rather, it's the conscious decision to let go of the need to control every outcome and allow life to unfold naturally. It's in this release that we make room for true transformation. When we surrender, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, new experiences, and the wisdom that comes from trusting the process of life. Personal growth requires us to confront our fears, limiting beliefs, and old patterns. We are often bound by a desire to control our environments and the people around us, thinking that control will bring us security. However, this need for control often limits us as it keeps us stuck in repetitive cycles of resistance. By surrendering the need to manage every aspect of our lives, we make space for personal growth. The surrender helps us step out of our comfort zones where real growth happens and trust that we are capable of navigating whatever comes our way. Surrender also involves letting go of past hurts and grievances that hold us back from moving forward. Holding on to pain or resentment keeps us tethered to a version of ourselves that is defined by those experiences. It's in the act of surrender that we can release this emotional baggage. Letting go of past wounds doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means freeing ourselves from the weight of carrying those emotions. By surrendering the grip of the past, we create the freedom to embrace the present and future with an open heart and mind. True personal growth comes from allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. We often resist vulnerability because it feels like opening ourselves to hurt or failure. But vulnerability is essential for growth. When we surrender to the vulnerability of being human, acknowledging our imperfections, our struggles, and our uncertainties, we create the conditions for deeper connection with ourselves and others. It's through this surrender to our vulnerability that we allow ourselves to experience deeper healing, understanding, and personal development. The act of surrender also teaches us to trust in the timing of our lives. We often want everything to happen according to our plans and on our timeline, but life doesn't always unfold in the way we expect, and trying to force things to happen can lead to frustration and burnout. Surrendering to the natural flow of life allows us to accept that everything is happening in its own time. Personal growth is not about rushing toward an end goal, but about trusting that the right opportunities and experiences will come to us when we are ready to receive them. In surrender, we learn to let go of the need for perfection. Many of us are driven by a deep desire to be perfect or to avoid failure, but this pursuit often limits us from stepping into new experiences. Perfection is an illusion that paralyzes us, while surrender allows us to embrace imperfection and the process of learning. When we stop demanding perfection from ourselves, we give ourselves permission to make mistakes, to fail, and to grow. Surrender teaches us that personal growth is messy, imperfect, and often nonlinear, and that's okay. Surrendering control also helps us connect more deeply with our intuition. We live in a world that often prioritizes logic and reason over feelings and instinct. but our intuition can be a powerful guide in our personal growth. When we surrender the need to control and analyze every situation, we create space for our intuition to emerge. By trusting that inner voice, we can navigate our journey with more clarity, confidence, and alignment. Surrender is an act of faith in ourselves and the wisdom that lies within us. Finally, surrender is a profound practice of self-compassion. We are often our harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and constantly striving for more. Surrendering the need to constantly push ourselves allows us to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Personal growth is not a race, and it's not about achieving some idealized version of ourselves. It's about learning to be gentle with ourselves as we evolve, embracing the process of growth, and acknowledging that we are always enough, even in our imperfections. Through surrender, we cultivate a deeper, more loving relationship with ourselves.